It's so rare we get a full and budget version of a set released, but here we are. In today's video, we're going to be comparing a $10 Lego dog to a $150 Lego dog. First, I'm going to go through the $150 one, rate it, review it, then we'll go through the budget one, rate it, review it, and then compare them together. Let's get into it. I do my ratings on a number of metrics to help you figure out if this set is right for you. Skill 7 out of 10. Weirdly enough, this reminds me of a recent build I did, the Sherlock Holmes book nook. Stick with me here. So if you watch that video, what I'm about to say here sounds really familiar. Overall, this was a pretty easy build, and normally I would give this a 5 out of 10. It has very few weird build techniques, but the ones it has are super weird. This is like one of those car pieces that covers the wheels for the eye, like super weird. Usually that would put it at a 6 out of 10, but then I added an extra point because this baby is 1,700 pieces. Personally, I would say this is not beginner friendly, and I definitely would have done a few builds prior. I do have a caveat to this, and I will mention it during the review portion, because it's really specific. Aesthetics 9 out of 10. This looks great, but there are some chunks with exposed brick right here that aren't my favorite. I know it's stylistic, but it's not my favorite. This is obviously a display set. There's like two things I want to highlight with this that really work well for it being display. One, there's a ton of customization, and we'll talk about it during the review portion, but you could build this dog and have it not look like mine. Two, there's two different posing options, and I really love that. There are some pieces that are swapped out depending on which pose you choose, and there's this nice little hidden compartment that helps you hide them, so that is really cool. Normally I would do this explanation at the end, but here's how you switch it between the poses. First, you're gonna remove the head and all the limbs, and then you're gonna pull out the extra piece from the bent limbs. Then on the torso, you're gonna remove the back compartment and take out this extra white Lego build. You're also gonna put that extra foot piece in there. Then you're going to take the bent legs and you're going to line it up with the pegs for the vertical holes. Then you're going to take the straight legs and put them on the front. Finally, you'll put the head on. You're going to cover the back with that piece you took from the compartment in the beginning of this. Again, so smart to have the compartment. Sometimes when you have display sets, like it's not pretty to have that sitting out on a shelf, so I really love that they put that in there. Normally, I feel like I would give this like a 7 or 8 out of 10 because it looks cool, but like that definitely adds a point or two. Also, I do want to address there are stickers. This and this are a sticker, but honestly, there's so few stickers in the set, I'm not even mad. Durability, 6 out of 10. I've been having issues with minor pieces falling off with kind of minor handling. I know it's a display piece, but it's definitely one I would not let around children, which is kind of a bummer if I'm being honest. 101 Dalmatians was a movie I really remember liking as a kid, and it would have been a fun set to share with kids. Value, 8 out of 10. I do this metric solely based off of the price per brick, and I'm gonna use bricks and pieces interchangeably. I'm sorry about that. There are some factors that can affect the price per brick. One of those is licensed IP. Now, obviously, 101 Dalmatians is owned by Disney, so licensed IP. The other one is custom pieces, whether that be because color or printing or whatever. I didn't catch any within this set. Normally, a set's price per brick will range anywhere from 6 cents to 12 cents. This set is $149.99 and has 1,722 pieces, giving this an 8-cent price per brick, which I am so happy with, especially for a Disney licensed IP. Time, 10 out of 10. I do this metric solely based on the amount of bricks I'm placing per hour relative to my average. My average is 350 to 425 pieces per hour. This set took me 3 hours and 45 minutes and again has 1,722 pieces, meaning I was averaging just under 460 bricks per hour, so it's like way off my scale. Honestly, that's insane. I'm very happy with that as well. Joy, 7 out of 10. This was a good build. I did enjoy it. There were a few parts in the instructions that were like maybe a tad confusing, but overall it was fine. It was fun. Maybe not necessarily the most joyful set I've ever built, but I did have a lot of fun with it, and it really is a good build. Overall, A tier. I'm kind of between S and A on this one. Let me know if I should change this. I feel like the value and durability just is slightly too low for S. However, I feel like the posability and customization maybe doesn't put it in A either. Let me know your thoughts. Let's talk about the set. Before I discuss that, let's talk about some basics of the set. This set is 12 bags and 4 booklets. There's very clear sections within this build. So if you needed to stop, but you're like me and have a hard time stopping, this is a lot easier because of the sections. Each section has its own booklet. Bag 1 through 4 is the body. Bag 5 and 6 is the back legs or the front legs, depending on how you display it. Bags 7 and 8 are the front legs or back legs, again, depending on how you display display it. And finally, bags 9 through 12 are the head. I know I showed you how to swap this build into the other display option, but for the sake of talking about this build, I'm going to refer to the straight legs as the back legs and the bent as the front, even though that's not how I have it. When you're doing this build, it has you put the bent legs on the front, so I'm just going to follow along with the build on screen. Technically, you can do this build with a few different people because of the different booklets, but unless you live together, I really wouldn't recommend it. While you could have someone build the legs while the other builds the torso, I just think it isn't as good of a building experience as a joint project. But the one caveat I mentioned earlier is if you're a bit more of a newbie and wanted to do this experience with, let's say, your spouse who is more experienced, that could be fun. Within this review, I mentioned customization and I wanted to expand on that more here. When it comes to the puppy's color, you technically only have two options, red and blue. However, the pieces used are very common, so technically you could just order them from the Bricks and Pieces hub on the LEGO website, or just pull it off of a different set. If you did go through the ordering a different color option, there's a yellow, which could be really cute. There's also a cone version of this brick that I think you can use, but I haven't played with that. But really, the true customization comes in the face. Obviously, the little dots on the body, you technically can move around as you please, but the face is really where you would see the difference. You can choose to have both ears be white, one black, one white, or both black. You can also change the spots around the eye sockets. Again, both white, one black, one white, or both black. Technically, there's 4 options within that because you can have the black spot on the left or right eye. Does that make sense? The same goes for the ears. You could choose to have the right ear white and the left ear black, or have the right ear black and the left ear white. There is one other piece of customization beyond this, the dog tag. While we don't have 101 name options, we do get 7. Yeah, 7. That's why we had one of the stickers on the set, so that's why I wasn't really mad about the stickers. The names we have are Lucky, Patch, Rolly, Penny, Freckles, and Pepper. If you didn't like any of those, your 7th option is this cute little star design. I believe the set is based off the movie because not all 101 Dalmatians are given names in the movies, just a select few. While there was a movie spin-off that did try to give them all names, I kind of feel like that's confusing, so these are the ones we know. Here's my dilemma with this set. A lot of thought went into this. It's extremely customizable and has features that go beyond my ratings. So should I bump this up to S tier? I'm not gonna lie, I'm going on a road trip. I don't want to have a gap in my content, so I've been trying to get ahead on videos. Meaning that, to me, right now time is very precious. I've been sleeping like 5 hours to get videos done. I seriously kept messing with the set, looking at reviews online, making pros and cons lists for like 2 hours, flip-flopping on whether it was A or S, and I'm still not solid on it. So if you have a stronger feeling, please let me know. This is a truly unique and very fun set, but I cannot decide on how to feel about it. It's too good for A, but it's also not 100% S either. The thing I will say, this set is 100% worth the price. But let's get into the mini. I do my ratings on a number of metrics to help you figure out if this set is right for you. It is so tiny, oh my gosh. Scale 2 out of 10. This is extremely easy if I'm being honest, and there's like no complex build techniques. It's perfect for beginners and honestly would be great for kids. This is probably a good part to mention that there's actually like a whole nother dog and then these 2 side builds that go with it. But for the sake of this one looks most like the 101 Dalmatian puppies I did. So we're just kind of looking at this one. I can't hold it all super easy. Aesthetics 5 out of 10. There is too many stickers for a set that is this small, but there's an issue with one that I really can't stand. Some of the set has printed pieces like on the side, but on the back piece, there is a white sticker and it doesn't match the white of the Lego brick, so it looks super weird. I am impressed how few bricks it took to make this, but that sticker thing, I'm gonna be honest here, it really bothers me. I display this in a way where you can't see it because it bothers me that bad. Also, I'm really not a fan of like this tan belly thing. I don't get why it's there. Like, if I'm being honest, I think those pieces pretty much should exist in white, so I don't know why we didn't just get it matching. It does have decent posability though, and is very easy to move into different positions, so that's nice. Durability, 9 out of 10. Honestly, you have to try to break this one. I'm like tempted to throw it at the wall right now just to see, but I'm pretty solid, like this won't. Don't do it. But like, honestly, I feel like you have to like, I mean, that comes off kind of easy, but like you have to like try to get it apart. Value, 7 out of 10. Again, I do this metric only based off the price per brick, and I will use Bricks and Pieces interchangeably. So this one still has the same factor, the license IP that affects it. And then I do know that these are custom printed pieces. However, I think the majority of this is pretty standard Lego bricks. To remind you of the normal range, it usually goes from 6 to 12 cents. This one costs $24.99 and has 268 pieces, meaning it has a 10-cent price per brick. Wait, that's 9 cents. I shouldn't be left to do math, honestly. I'm happy with it. Sometimes with this, you have to remember these smaller sets will have higher price per bricks because, I don't know, they just get less expensive the bigger the sets get. Time 10 out of 10. This is very similar to the last one. I do this only based off the amount of bricks I'm placing per hour relative to my average, and my average is 350 to 425 bricks per hour. Now, this didn't take me a full hour, so I had to do some math. This took me 33 minutes and has 268 pieces, meaning I'd average over 500 bricks per hour. Joy 8 out of 10. Honestly, I enjoyed the side builds so much and that bumped up the score for me. It's also fun with these when you can see them coming together quickly. That's definitely a draw of small sets. Overall B tier, this definitely doesn't deserve the same rank as this one for sure. Like, I'd almost put it in C too. Like, it's definitely a teeterer for me. I think this is a very specific set to someone who likes 101 Dalmatians and likes this kind of aesthetic, but it's not my favorite aesthetic, and I think you have to really like the IP to do this one. Let's talk about it. The budget version of this is actually its whole own set, but I calculated down the specific dog to about $10. The full set includes Lucky, Penny, a dog bone, and TV set. This build has 2 booklets and 4 bags. Bag 1 and 2 are Lucky and the TV. That's also the first booklet. Bag 3 and 4 is Penny and the dog bone. Obviously, that's the second booklet. Oh yeah, you might have seen my cat throughout the video at a few points. She keeps chewing on empty plastic bags, so I keep needing to separate her from those. Cats are really smart sometimes. Anywho, the TV screen is displaying someone who might look familiar to anyone who's watched the movie. The show is called The Thunderbolt Adventure Hour, and the puppies were obsessed with it. I kind of remember it being like a cowboy detective style show, if that makes sense. Later, the puppies decide to act brave like Thunderbolt. It's cute. Actually, I wonder if that inspired Disney's Bolt at all. If anyone remembers that, I'd build a Lego Bolt. I think this movie is so iconic because it has a strong message and probably one of the best Disney villains. She's terrifying because she's truly the type of villain that exists everywhere in the real world. I could totally rationalize away a shape-shifting lady who turns into a dragon because that's not real. A selfish and cruel woman with a blatant disregard for intelligent life? Damn. I also realize I'm a bit of a hypocrite because I'm not vegan as I'm saying that, so I don't know. But I remember her terrifying me as a kid because she could be anywhere. I promise you a comparison, but this video has been very long, so let's go through it very quickly. Where this big one is better is obviously it's a better display and it's a lot cuter in my opinion. This has incredible customization and doesn't have issues like the off sticker on the other one that really bothers me. And then where the small is better is obviously the price. Like, that is such an obvious one here. The side builds on this are amazing. I love this TV build. It is so cute and it is so much fun, and it does definitely let it display very well with the big one. It's really fun to have 2 of them, and this is a great unwind set. Anyways, I know this video has been really long, so I just want to say thank you so much for choosing to watch my videos out of all the videos on YouTube. I know I'm a really small channel, so it really means the world to me, so thank you so much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!